Hello, everyone. Welcome back for Game 3 of the World Finals of Lords of Middle-earth Tournament. So, very exciting stuff. Always fun to go down to a Game 3, especially when it's for, literal first place. So, winner takes all. Loser is, well, still second, which is still pretty cool. So, first place gets a set of red and blue dice along with a set of gold dice. Second place gets red and blue along with the silver dice. So, both still pretty cool, but naturally the gold is, cooler because it comes with first place. So, I was surprised by what happened at the start here. So how it works for this Lords of Middle-earth tournament anyway is higher roll gets to pick side for game 3 because it's considered pretty close to balanced. And Saved by Him rolls higher. And yeah, it like I say, it's a bit of a conundrum because it feels pretty close either way. So he ends up picking Free Peoples, which I especially find interesting because in our semifinals he picked Shadow for game 3. And it went well. But to be fair, in this game so far, Free Peoples have won both times. So that says something anyway. So yeah, here we go into Free Peoples for Saved by Him and Shadow for Quadratic. So here we go. Oh, interesting. Okay, and he's playing no companions out. Wow. Okay, I'm very used to him putting Gimli out too in our game so far. So very interesting stuff. Anyway, okay, so it does take Gandalf Narya though. So 3 eyes rolled from the Shadow player and 2 musters. So that's a pretty reasonable start. And interestingly moves the dwarf to Erebor and the regular into Old Forest Road. Fascinating. Yeah, typically one moves the Rohan armies to West Emnet, but I guess especially when it's Lords of Middle-earth and you're used to having Gimli and Erebor, and suddenly he's not, I guess the line feels a bit more fragile. So, ducking undercover quick is a reasonable choice for sure. Elves get mustered down. Saruman gets mustered down. Elves get mustered down some more. Armies start taking a walk. Fellowship moves, and it's safe. Saruman comes in. Fellowship moves. Oh no, Gondor gets mustered down. Okay. My autopilot's just assuming Fellowship was going to move again because I'm an insane sprinter. But yeah, at the start of a Lords of Middle-earth game, not moving a second time against three eyes is an entirely reasonable choice. Okay, on to turn 2. Okay, so Kindred of Glorfindel. Man, this is a pretty poor Free People's hand here. Like for the first 4 cards of the game, I don't think I would pick any of these cards. Not unless maybe the Shadow player is going after Rivendell. I mean, and a blue tile isn't trash, it's just not really useful early on. Shadow of Dol Guldur, 2 red tiles, and Shadows on the Misty Mountains. Wow. If ever there was a hand that wanted you to go blow up Lorien, it was this one. Well, actually, no, I guess you could pick up Balrog too. That would be more Lorien-centered. Anyway. 1 eye in, 1 more rolled. And that's a pretty pleasant roll. Character and 2 Wills of the West. So you could use a ring to crown Aragorn this turn, which I think is an even better idea when you have, what do you call it? No companions out, because then that, enables you to go faster and just sprint and burn through all your companions. But anyway. Oh yeah, no musters for Shadow. Hadn't looked at their roll yet. Yeah, that's frustrating for sure. Okay, so draws a strategy card, Day Without Dawn. That's always a nice card to have. Is it an action die? It is generally considered to be an action die. I wonder what is the context that he's asking for, because none of the cards here, I think, mention an action die. But he's asking if the Keeper die counts as an action die for something anyway. Anyway, Fellowship moves and is safe. Shadow moves armies towards Mordor. Fellowship moves again and is safe. It's a very nice start. To be fair, like that was the first movement where it was actually more likely to be hit than not. But still, it's still obviously good luck to get not hit all 3 times. But okay, Shelob comes out. Fellowship moves again, and it's still safe. Wow, that's amazing. That's only 1 in 4 to be safe that time. Okay, draws a card. Imrahil of Dol Amroth. That's a good card. Shadows on the Misty Mountains. I believe there's supposed to be a Nazgul there with those 2 trolls too. Hopefully that shows up soon. Nope, it does not show up. Or if they'll remember it. Oh well. Okay, so all very, very sad. So 3 Rings to the Elven King was an accidental overdraw. Imagine he'd rather have that than Horn of Gondor. Yeah, because he throws out Horn of Gondor. I think I might have been tempted to keep it, but then again, I guess the Fellowship is in spectacular health, so that's not really necessary. I'm a little surprised Quadratic is going after Lorien instead of headed towards the Dew Line, especially since there's no Gimli. But to be fair, Shadows on the Misty Mountains helps with that. But turn 1, he had Shadow of Dol Guldur, and he didn't have Shadows on the Misty Mountains yet, so... Oh, wow, and there's the Balrog card. Okay, so that's the, you know how I was saying about how the game really wants you to go after Lorien? It's there. It's there for you now. Okay, Fellowship is ready. Shadow player allocates 1 eye, rolls 2 more, and another couple more movement for the Fellowship. Okay, so we muster in Lorien since the elves are all the way to war. Sauron goes to war. Man, I'm mustering another elite in Lorien. That feels good. That feels really good getting it all protected like that. Okay, so here's a question. Do you use that Will of the West to put in Galadriel so that you have the, you know, the leadership and the abilities and the ability to play something like Brave Stand for the combat that's probably about to happen this turn? Or do you use it to move or hopefully get Gandalf the White after you move? I think I would be tempted to move first and hope I can get Gandalf the White. I would probably move, and if I don't get hit, move again using a ring to move with the Palantir and hopefully get Gandalf the White this turn. Just because, you know, like you've moved, if you do that, you'll have moved 6 times and they'll have maybe cracked Lorien this turn. Maybe not, because it's a really strong Lorien, you know? So anyway, that's my thought anyway. Ooh, very exciting stuff. Okay, so he has House of the Stewards and has got a plan here. Interestingly, he's actually in a spot where he could use Gandalf the Grey's ring ability to yeet Rohan to war. So that's pretty exciting stuff. And actually brings Boromir because he has House of Stewards, yeah. Okay, draws a card, a Tord from the east. And yep. Does it have to be just a settlement? I think it is just a settlement, yeah. It doesn't come up for me much, so I haven't looked into it. But I'm pretty sure it's just a settlement anyway. It's going to be awkward if we go back and find out it has to be a city or a stronghold. But yeah, okay, don't see that every day. That's pretty cool. He mentions that he wants to give me something to talk about. So yeah, there's that's something to talk about. All right. Yeah, okay, and Quadratic checks the rules for me that, yes, any old, as he says, backwater settlement will do. Okay, so in comes the Black Captain. Makes sense, since the Fellowship's not moving at all this turn, and goodness knows if they'll get revealed next turn, then yeah, here we go. Wait, so it is Ranger of the North, right? Okay, so he said he wanted to give me something to talk about, and I know Saved by Him does have a bit of a soft spot for the Dunedain. So, like, I think he, knows that it's not actually the best way to go, but it's just cool enough that he tried it against me once anyway. So I was keeping an eye out for that. Like, is he gonna play the Dunedain again sometime? Now comes Gandalf the White, and yeah, now we're attacking Lorien. Okay, so strategy card versus a character card, probably one of these advantageous positions getting played. Yeah, against Durin's Bane, always feels good to get Durin's Bane out there. Free gets a 1-hit. And rolls 1 more 6, so 1 more hit against 3 back from Lorien. I'm a little surprised he took the regular there first, just because that decreases his combat strength. But of course, this is, what do you call it? This is Lorien, where Galadriel can come in and muster in more elites. So wanting to, keep the elite force pool healthy makes a lot of sense. I will be right back. And we're back. Okay, right. So attacking Lorien, 3 hits back. Not the most amazing start that the Shadow player could have wanted, but not bad anyway. Okay, so we're pressing. Yeah, I guess you want to try to... The nice part is that you can finish out this attack as much as you want, and you still get a shot at attacking at the start of next turn. Because first movement, even if he brings in Galadriel, then you get another shot at attacking before he can muster in more elites. So that's something. Also, you get to do all this combat while there's no bonus leadership from Galadriel. So that's also something. Okay, so he presses... I feel like that's got to be Deadly Strife. Maybe we come to kill. We come to kill for 2 isn't bad. It's Deadly Strife. There you go. Okay, so plus Valor means that those 4 dice hit on anything but a 1. So that's pretty epic. Watch him roll like 4 1s. Nope, no 1s. Well, that's Quadratic rolling. Okay, he gets 3 hits. He gets 4 hits. So what do you know? There was a 2, so that Valor came in handy. Okay. Okay, so that's quite a bit of blood on both sides. Okay, Yeah, so it takes some calculation. Let's see if we get there anyway. Okay, so he's taking it like that. Yeah, like that. Okay. Yeah, and there's the hits on Lorien. Think about it. Okay, doing it like that instead. Yeah, very keeping the Elven regulars free in the force pool there. Okay, so naturally Gandalf's keeper die is gone. Thinking about declaring. Interesting. I guess if you declare now, you get past Moria, so then the Balrog can pop up and be a threat to Strider. So that's something. And since the Black Captain's already there, then there's no chief that's about to spring on you. It still feels bad just declaring out of Rivendell in general, just because you're, opening yourself to rerolls and cards and it's always possible you might just never get revealed and get hit by Crowweather later. And therefore can't get hit by Crowweather. I mean, yeah, he does it. I think that is an entirely reasonable choice. So, okay, one I allocated, one I rolled more. Fellowship moves. Safe. Olog High comes out to help attack Rivendell. Moving even more. Interesting. I'm a little surprised he didn't prioritize bringing in Galadriel and mustering Lorien. Yeah, that's 6 movements without being hit so far, making the separating Gandalf choice look like a good one. Okay, so here he comes after Lorien. Or maybe he's planning on not getting Galadriel at all and just jumping straight to Elrond. That's a reasonable choice. Okay. Lorien again, advantageous position into desperate battle feels good. Yeah, see, there you go. That blocked 2 hits right there. He still gets 3 hits overall, so that helps. And he gets 2 hits back. Okay, and he presses, and yeah, hits the onslaught button just to make sure he finishes off Lorien right now. That's reasonable. 1 hit for 1 hit. Okay, so it actually worked out. I wasn't sure if Lorien was actually going to fall this way, but yeah, here we go. That works. Oh, right, and Rohan's at war now, so those musters are extra useful because he can, make Rohan a real difficulty to deal with right now. Okay, Nazgul strike. That feels good. Getting to pivot your Nazgul leadership to a different army and, harass the Fellowship at the same time. There we go, I hit. It's a 2. That's not bad. Straight taking the 2, that's a reasonable choice. Because taking a random, of course, you risk losing Strider, which feels bad because you still got, another 4 steps to take to get to Mordor. Anyway. Saldrons get mustered. Saldrons mustered again. People's move. Yeah, feels nice to have Boromir in range for playing House of the Stewards. Witch King's coming. Mustering Mord Rohan. I'm a little surprised he didn't hit the button and attack Osgiliath, because then you're kind of forcing him to choose at the start of next turn whether you're leaving Gandalf there or not. Because, it's a good start for the Free Peoples, but if next turn the dice go well, he could have Gandalf the White dead by the end of turn 5, which feels risky to me anyway. Okay, Orc Patrol and Madness and Horror. King Brandsman and We Prove the Swifter. Out goes We Prove the Swifter. Fascinating. Especially just like when you have a mobile Gandalf and Boromir here to do cool things with. That seems like it would have been a useful card. But then again, the rest of these cards are obviously useful too. Always Shield Walls are good. Emery Hill is good. House of the Stewards is obviously really good. Okay, Fellowship declares. Lies rolled. Thinks about it. Okay, brings in Elrond first. Yeah, the plan is to get to Mordor this turn. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so I guess he's letting... What do you call it? Letting Boromir stand as is. Okay, so Osgiliath gets attacked. 1 hit from the Swarm of Bats. 1 hit from Osgiliath back. Presses. And he retreats to Minas Tirith. Which I guess makes sense, just because given the roll, you don't have any spare musters to muster anyway. So that's a bummer, Shadow, that regular survived, Okay, Fellowship is moving. It's safe. Yeah, as expected, Elrond's ability comes out. And there comes Day Without Dawn, which feels bad, but I think makes a lot of sense. So, I don't know. Especially when you're trying to get to Mordor this turn, I think if I was saved by him, I would have led with using the Will of the West. But at the same time, leaving it up for Day Without Dawn to get it makes... What do you call it? Just having it out of the way makes all your future turns so much more carefree. So, Moves again and is safe again. Okay, attacking Pelargir. Interesting. Okay, so we're on different wavelengths about how important it is to kill Gandalf, or to try to kill Gandalf anyway. Like, especially since you saw the Free Peoples deliberately separate Boromir like that, the threat of House of Stewards is very real. So I feel that. Okay, so he presses, so I guess we're running to go blow up Dol Amroth this turn. Okay, they noticed that Quadratic probably needed to spend a die to do that attack. Fellowship moves again, and is hit, and it's a 1. Ooh, that's a big deal that wasn't a reveal. If that was a reveal, that'd delay him a whole turn getting into Mordor. But as it is, we see that there's no cruel weather. So I think if I was the Shadow player, I would probably use a ring on this muster to play Orc Patrol right now. Just because if you draw one of these 5 tiles, you're buying yourself a whole nother turn. So that being said, if you draw anything else, then it's a waste of time. But I mean, I guess drawing a 3, like, they might take a random and lose Strider, so that's something. And yes, he does use a ring to play Orc Patrol, and we get an eye. So, well, darn, that's about the worst case scenario. But and now that you've used a ring, now the Free People's player knows that there's no cruel weather. But at the same time, are you really going to do anything else with that character die aside from move? I feel like it doesn't really make a difference. Okay, so attack Lamedan. There's all the 6s. Pass, attack Dol Amroth. Then Fellowship moves, and it is safe again. This is wow. Yeah, yeah. This is a meme. Yeah. Yeah. That's not very nice of the game to do that in the finals because it doesn't. It's not like it's not close at all. Like at the end of this turn, they'll be on 5 points, but at the same time, they're not. The Shadow player isn't very close to any more points after this. Like I guess this army is close to Minas Tirith, but it's a very well defended Minas Tirith, and Rohan's even ab war and ready to deal with it. And the Dew line is fairly vulnerable, but there's no army threatening it really. And we even saw Horde from the east go already. So, yeah. And the Elves are at war too, so they can muster in. So, yeah, I think most people would give the edge to the Free People's player at this point, for sure. Oh, that feels like a bummer. Having, like we said, Free People's has the edge right now, but using Imra Hill to defend Dol Amroth feels bad. Okay, and he rolls 2 6s, so -1 is 1 hit back. Presses. Yeah, but of course it makes sense. If you don't play him now, Dol Amroth is probably dead anyway. And just rolls 2 more 6s, so yep, that's the end of Dol Amroth. Yeah. Okay, so he chucks Elven Rope. I guess that makes sense. I would have been maybe tempted to chuck Fearfire Foes or Kingbrand's Men instead, but you do have, Smeagol Helps Nice Master, Bilbo Song, and House of Stewards are all also good character cards that want to be played. So, okay, so that's such a brutal roll for the Shadow player right there. Only 2 attacks out of 9 dice. Like, the musters aren't as bad because you can at least get the mouth and use one of them as an attack, but the 3 Palantirs, like, what did you really want to do with that? Oh, no, okay, he does have 2 red tiles to chuck in there, and he already put 1 in, so that's something. But it's such a big hunt pool, though. Like, look at all those normal tiles. And Smeagol's still out there, just jeepers creepers. So, naturally, he moves right away, and it's a 0 reveal, so that's fine. Like, you have Strider, you can hide. In comes a red tile. He hides again. In goes the other red tile. Yep, that makes a lot of sense. And in goes the blue tile. That also makes sense. In comes the Mouth of Sauron. Yes, they're checking. Both do have the same leadership. They both have 2 leadership. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think the regular mouth makes that's tricky. Because if you're going to go after Minas Tirith, I think I would get the alternate mouth right there just so you can get the extra attacks pressed. But, of course, the general mouth will be more useful after that for if you want to pivot and attack somewhere else on the map. Anyway, Fellowship moves again, and it's an eye, so that's not the best thing that the Free Peoples would have wanted, but it's still fine. Like they're in such good health that a 3R isn't too bad. I think I'd take a random. Yeah, he takes a random too, and it's a Hobbit, so that's. I mean, Legolas or Gimli would have been better, but a Hobbit's still fine. Okay, in comes an Elite in Minas Morgul. Yeah, getting ready to go after Minas Tirith. See, this is also just not how I played. I feel like if you were going to go after Minas Tirith, you should have done it right away. Because like if you're going to go through the hassle of killing Gandalf, you might as well do it earlier to deprive the Free People of that die for longer. But at the same time, the turn he went for Dol Amroth, he had a lot of attacking dice, and Free Peoples was using all of their dice to get to Mordor that turn. So it was a pretty free Dol Amroth. So I can understand wanting to pounce on that. Okay, out comes the armies towards Minas Tirith. We attack Minas Tirith. Free Peoples hide, using the mouth to move armies. Yeah, makes sense. So Elrond's die went away already. I hadn't even noticed how bad Elrond's die was. But yeah, did he roll anything useful? No, that was his first turn, and he just rolled an eye and went away. Lol. Okay, so he picks up Every Little is a Gain, and Mirror of Galadriel chucks Fear Fire Foes. That makes sense. And wow, here's the last red tile. So it is, as much as luck has favored the Free People so far, it is pretty cool to have literally all 4 red tiles by turn 7. So it would be a bigger deal, of course, if there were, less tiles in the hunt pool. But here we are. Okay, Fellowship's okay. 1 eye allocated, 1 rolled. And yeah, here's the plus side to him leaving that Will of the West up so that Day Without Dawn eats it, so that it doesn't hurt him as much now. So he moves right away, and it's a 2R, so that's fine. Yeah, I think I would take a random here too, just because if you do go up to 7, like there is a Sealder's Bane and a Shelob out there, so that doesn't feel great. That's the other Hobbit, so yeah, you're still up to 6 corruption, so you could still get killed by Shelob, a Sealder, but it's a big hunt pool, that's unlikely. Okay. Nice. Okay, so there is actually this is closer than we were giving it credit for. All he needs is 5 points. So if his leadership is enough to crack Minas Tirith, and this army is enough to, get lucky and take Dale and Erebor, this army's pretty weak though. That's asking for something. But at the same time, you got to go for something, and Rohan's pretty well defended, and you don't have any convenient mustering cards, so I think this is the right call. Okay, Fellowship hides. In goes the last red tile. And then you might as well pass because that's all the red tiles. Like, what else is he going to do? I think we saw Orc Patrol go. What else is out there card-wise? Did Candles of Corpses go yet? Nope, it's still out there. So that could be a motive for moving if you wanted to hurry up and dunk before Candle shows up. Naturally, Sealder's Bane, Foul Thing is still out there. Lure of the Ring still out there. Breaking still out there. So anyway, so there, corruption isn't not an option at all, but you still have 7 hit points in Companion. So I think you'd need to get lucky with Breaking or Lure or a couple red tiles at this point for corruption to work. But you also need to get lucky militarily, so I got to throw your luck one way or the other. And shooting for military is certainly a reasonable option. Okay, so we're going after Gandalf here, playing character card. I'm expecting that to be Words of Power. Yeah, because I think play if a shadow may forfeit your entire leadership to add 2 to all dice. So I feel like that probably works against Gandalf, right? Yeah, I think that works. Anyway. Yeah, Words of Power against Shield Wall. Rolls 0 hits. That's a bummer for sure. And Free Peoples rolls 2 hits. So, okay. So we're pressing. Yeah, because, you have all these troops for backup anyway, so might as well go for it. Playing strategy card, probably Deadly Strife, maybe Desperate Battle. Yeah, Deadly Strife into Daylight. Oh, feels bad. 2 hits, but there's only 1 reroll though. Yeah, there they go. Jeez, man. Okay. And the Free Peoples just rolls 5 hits back like it's no big deal. And of course, he kills a regular so that he can play House of the Stewards very efficiently. Oh, but just moves the Fellowship instead. Okay, that works too. Oh, man, and it's a blue tile. That's just not fair. That's not fair at all. Okay, well, he's making the choosing Free Peoples for this game look like clearly the correct choice and makes me look like an idiot, so that's fun. Okay, in come the reinforcements. Fellowship moves again, and it's a 3. So, yeah, GG. There you go. That's, wow, brutal. That is a turn 7 dunk at 5 corruption, and assuming you kill Strider, stay at 5 corruption and still have 4 corruption meat shield to go through. That is absurd. Wow, well played by both of them. I don't know how much else Quadratic could have done. I spoke my opinional differences, but all his choices were reasonable, and obviously Saved by Him played it well too. Yeah, he apologizes because for Saved by Him, it's no big deal. He wins a world tournament every other week. He's done this 8 times now or something. So he just feels bad that it wasn't cooler. The rest of us would be celebrating if we won a world finals, but yeah, anyway. Yeah, the no reveals was unfortunate. The Mordor track was just very nice. Oh yeah, and that's a bummer. He did this cool play of getting Boromir there and never even had a chance to play House of the Stewards. Brutal stuff. Yeah, even if he'd hit a red tile, he still could have used Galadriel's ring to move again with the H here. But mind, if it'd been a red and a reveal, then we'd be going to another turn, and then maybe losing Gandalf would have been a bummer. But yeah. So anyway, that's the game. Kind of want more military stuff since it's more fun. That's why I brought Gandalf and Boromir. Yeah, it's definitely a cooler game. Cooler, more fun game that way. Sprinting is sadly usually the better choice, but he still pulled off an amazing sprint even without Boromir. And obviously he crowned Gandalf the White that turn, so that, was both aiding sprint and defense at the same time. Yeah. He meant to do +7 on 2s. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, let's take a look at the statistics here. Of course, it shows me the statistics in its one of its bugged ways anyway. So we have all the dice pretended to be rolled by the free people. So overall, -2 on 6s, -1 on 4s. He mentioned it was -4 for him on as Shadow. So that would be mostly the hunt roll, I think, because they got hit so little. +3 on Wills of the West. That feels good. -1 character. Pretty average rolls overall for the Shadow player, but like they said, the lack of musters earlier and a heavier concentration of musters later is always bad news for the Shadow player. So anyway, great games overall. Very fun tournament. Looking forward to next year's tournament. Congrats to Saved by Him. Congrats to Quadratic. First and second is great. Obviously, first feels better, but second is still really good. Like, I'm in third. I would still have rather had second. But obviously third's good. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying second is still good. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.